Hey y'all, it's SheRea. What's up? Back with another video. As you can see from the title, today we'll be talking about period panties. I don't know whether this is controversial, but it's definitely taboo to talk about periods. Although we all get periods, we all have periods. Women have periods, non-women have periods. There's a lot of people on this planet that have periods, me included, but we don't talk about it. It's hush hush. And why? It's something we're all dealing with, trying to manage at least until menopause, and we're just gonna talk about it. And I found period panties as a way to manage my period. This video is going to be a pros and cons list based on my experience wearing period panties for almost a year now. I feel like that's the best way for me to break it down and make this information as digestible as possible. So bear with me. Before I get into the pros and cons, there are a few things that we need to talk about. But before we get into it, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It goes such a long way to support my channel so we can keep talking about topics like this. I talked about me getting a Brazilian wax for the first time. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out. And make sure you subscribe for more content. I know a lot of y'all click off within the first 3 to 5 minutes of a video, but I do want to make sure you save some money. You can save 15% off select period panties using the code SheRea15. I will leave a link down below as well as that code, which again is SheRea15. Before we even get into it, y'all, get you some. Don't even contemplate, get you some. This is something that I never thought I would ever use or try. I thought menstrual cups were the height, the extent of my period journey, but here we are talking about period panties. I started using a menstrual cup back in 2015. That was a push for me. All my friends were already using the cup, but it took me a while, and I started in 2015, and I've been using a menstrual cup ever since then. I've used various menstrual cups. I will link my latest one down below. But around 8 or 9 months ago, something told me to try period panties. And I think it was because even though I had been using menstrual cups for years, I couldn't figure out how to stop leaking. Some days I was like, yes sis, you a winner, you a winner. And some days it was womp womp, you a loser, you a loser. And I couldn't figure out the right technique to insert the cup so I wouldn't have leaks. It just really depended. It went with the seasons, with the moon, and it was a little bit too much guesswork. So I was like, after a few years of doing that, I was like, okay, I want to try something that's leak proof, that's going to get me to leak proof as much as possible. When I first started using period panties, I used them as a backup. So I would use my menstrual cup, but just use the panty, like I said, as a backup. Eventually, I started testing it, using it, and now I don't need my menstrual cup at all. Like, at all. I only use my panties. And period panties are exactly what they sound like. It's no trickery involved. They are panties that are specifically designed to be worn during that time of the month. You pull them up like you do regular panties. You wear them up to 12 hours, and the rest is history. Obviously, there's some caveats to them and some intricacies, but that is in a nutshell how they work. You can hand wash them, or you can wash them in the washer. Just make sure that you don't dry them in a dryer. You do need to line dry. I will hand wash them like the Caribbean woman that I am, rewear them if I have to, if I run out, and then at the end of my cycle, I will do a thorough wash in my washer using sensitive, no fragrance detergent, and I will line dry. And that is it. super simple. When it comes to period panties, at least for me, as a larger plus size woman, the brand definitely matters. This is not going to be a comparison amongst brands. I think it's just going to be trial and error. A lot of these brands do have return policies that you can look further into. I don't want to get into the intricacies of the return policy and all of that, but you are able to try panties, and if they don't work out for you, you can get your money back, and we love that. I've only tried 2 brands. I've tried Thinx and I've tried Madi Body. Madi Body is currently the brand that I'm using. Brand matters as a plus size woman when it comes down to sizing. Thinx only goes up to a 4X, and although I typically wear a 3X on the bottom, the 4X in the Thinx underwear are too small. Some of them I can get up on my body and I can wear them, and others, they are simply too small. When it comes down to which one will fit, it really comes down to the style. All of these brands have several styles: boy shorts, high waist briefs, thongs. It just really depends. There's a bunch of different styles. The 4X, even though it's a size bigger than I am, the 4X doesn't fit me comfortably for the most part. When it comes to Madi Body, they go up to a 6X, and that's the size that I wear. Again, although I usually wear a 3X. That's because the sizing in period panties, for me, doesn't go based on the size on the panty. It goes based on the measurements. Just like when you shop Asian websites and you look at the measurements to find your right size, that's what you need to do with period panties. When I first started, I looked at my size and I ordered a 3X and none of them fit. Don't do that. Be better than me, do better than me, and look at the sizing. And I say that because, again, in Madi Body, I wear a 6X, but listen to the sizes. For the waist in a 6X, it's 48.43. And for the hips, it's anywhere from 56.3 inches to 58.27 inches. Obviously, if you're a little bit bigger, maybe you can make it work, but that gives you an idea. The 6X is not a true 6X that we think of a 6X in regular sizing. The sizing is different. What keeps the blood in the panty is something called a gusset. The gusset is what's going to hold the blood so that it doesn't leak or drip. I don't have issues with leaks when I wear my right panty, and that's important. So anyway, the gusset is what holds the blood. With Madi Body, the gusset comes all up the back. And for me, somebody with a larger butt and somebody that tends to have leaks, so like when I would wear my periods, I would get the maxi overnight periods, the one that came up your back, just because I would tend to have leaks at the back on my butt area, right? Like that period creep. With Thinx, they didn't accommodate the gusset. The gusset kind of stopped like halfway, while the one for Madi Body comes all the way up the back. I'm not sure if that's as important for a smaller person, but for a larger person like me that does experience that, having the gusset go all the way up the butt, it's really important, and that's why I will always choose Madi Body over other brands. Again, I haven't tried a lot of brands, and a lot of brands don't even have the size that can accommodate a larger person. And this video is not sponsored by Madi Body. I just love putting women on, putting people on, so that's why I'm doing this video. It is not sponsored by Madi Body at all. These panties were gifted to me by Madi Body, but I had no obligation to make a video, talk about them, or anything. They were a gift, and they're a gift that I appreciate. Obviously, I'm doing this video, but I had Thinx way before Madi Body. I was using Thinx for a number of months before I even discovered Madi Body. Having a gusset that goes up the front and goes up the back as well just really helps with security. It makes me feel more comfortable knowing that I won't have any leakage when I'm out and about and doing things outside, okay? The length and the thickness of the gusset will depend on the type of period panty you choose. The absorbency that you choose is going to be up to that. Also to note, period panties come in different absorbencies, just like pads and tampons. It's the same concept. Different brands will have different absorbencies, so it just depends on the heaviness or the lightness of your period. That's something that's going to be personal. I personally, for me and my body and my cycle, I tend to go for maxi or near maxi as possible, because even on my lighter days, I don't feel bulky, I don't feel like I'm wearing a diaper. It's really seamless. Of course, on your lighter days, you can select a different panty, but if you tend to be a heavy, period type of person, I would go with the maxi, because those can also be worn on the light days, while the lighter panties or the light absorbency panties can't be worn on the heavy days, if that makes sense. That's just something I would recommend. It's up to you. Once you figure it out though, this is amazing. Now let's go into pros and cons. There are definitely a lot more pros than there are cons, but I do want to break it down and further delve into many of the things I may have covered earlier. So first of all, I have my notes right here. I don't think there's a learning curve to period panties. I'm putting you on in ways that someone didn't put me on. So for you, I don't think you're going to have a learning curve. I definitely had a learning curve because I had to switch from things to body. But because I'm telling you to run out and get these period panties, you won't have a learning curve. You literally pull them up like you do regular panties and you live your very best life. Like, it's honestly amazing. Pro number 2, they are virtually leak proof. Once you find your size, your style that fits you best, these are not going to leak. They're not like pads, they're not like tampons, they're not like even my beloved menstrual cups. If you're the kind of person, and I know people like this exist because I know them in real life, if you're the type of person that's in denial about your size, you're really an extra large, but you convince yourself that you're a medium, these are not going to work. Because if these don't fit you right, they are going to leak and they're going to be a mess. Once you actually wear your right size and get the right fit and style, chef's kiss. Another pro is that there's no wetness or moisture. I'm not gonna go into the technology behind the period panties. Honestly, I don't really know how they work. I just know that they do work and that you don't feel any wetness, you don't feel any moisture. You're not gonna touch the pad and see blood on your hands. That's not going to happen. It's not going to seep through your bed or your pants. I know, like, it's a weird concept. Just trust me, it works. Just trust the science. It's all I can say about that. Another thing is that there's no discomfort. I know, at least for me, when it came to tampons, or sometimes if I would not insert my menstrual cup correctly, like if it was kind of like at an angle, or if it didn't, sometimes it would like just hurt, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it just would be uncomfortable. It wouldn't feel good. I would feel like I need to adjust myself and like go into the bathroom and readjust it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know the feeling. And with the period panties, because it's simply just a panty, you don't experience any of that discomfort, and that's perfect. I touched on this at the beginning. Like I said, it's not bulky and it's very discreet. You're not even going to know. Like, I forget. Like, I literally just wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing my panties. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a diaper. It's a bit thicker than a regular panty, but not that much more that it's something that you will notice or feel embarrassed or ashamed of. I'm sure I've touched on this before, but you can wear period panties up to 12 hours, so you only need 2 a day. If your period lasts a full 7 days, then you will need 14. Obviously, you do not have to buy 14 period panties. You can just wash them throughout. If you don't want to have to be stressed about washing and wait for them to dry, then of course you can get 2 for a day, but you don't have to. I wash them, line dry them, and wear them again. And the last pro, and maybe there are others, but these are the ones that came to mind. The cost savings over time. You're going to pay $40 for a period panty, maybe like $30 to $40, something like that. Maybe you'll get it on sale. You can use my code. But those period panties are going to last you for a long time. I haven't bought pads in almost a decade, but I'm pretty sure with everything else and inflation, pads have gone up. So I would get a pack of pads, I don't know, $10? I don't remember. Again, it was so long ago. You're gonna pay $10 for a pack of pads that lasts you maybe one period, and you're gonna keep doing that. The end of the year, you spent like $200 in pads, and you're gonna keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Maybe you use more pads. Who knows how often, you know, you bought pads, but it's just going to be cheaper over time. Not having to buy pads. Another pro that I also forgot just now, but also just the environmental impact of pads and tampons over time. It's just going to be better for us and the world if we reduce our carbon footprint, we reduce our waste, and if you can have a panty that you can reuse for 3 years or so, instead of just dumping more materials into our landfills. If you care about our landfills and you care about the earth, then period panties are the way to go. And now let's get into a few cons. The first con, at least for me as a larger woman, that is how I see the world. That's how I navigate the world in this body. I don't think period panties are size inclusive. The biggest size for my body in particular is a 6X, but the 6X is really just a 3X. It's just a normal 3X in other, you know, in other mainstream stores. So I'm basically the biggest, like a 22, 24 is basically the biggest you can be. Maybe you can squeeze in a 26. That's the biggest you can be to wear period panties. And with women being, you know, a size 30, a size 34, it's just not inclusive. For me, I think any woman or any person with a period should have access to period panties, and it's just not that way right now. It's very limited. I do hope that these brands can expand, especially Thinx has a longer way to go than Modi Body, but both of them combined can really do better of accommodating people of different sizes, bigger shapes. If we are all included, the society is just better. So that's a major con for me. The sizing must be improved. Another con is that they run small. If you just instinctively go and buy your regular size, you're going to quickly find that your regular size may just not fit you. And that's why it's really important to pay attention to the size chart. Another con is just the upfront cost of owning a period panty. I'm not going to be naive, especially with inflation and just our economy, to think that everyone has the money, the access to afford a $30 to $45 panty, and that's just one panty, right? So you're ending up having to pay an upfront cost of anywhere from, I don't know, $150 to $200, maybe more. Everyone doesn't have that money. Everyone doesn't have those coins. They are going to pay themselves off over time, but that initial $200 can be a lot, truly. And then lastly, for a con for me, and maybe because I'm lazy, the fact that you have to air dry it. I'm pretty sure it's because something with the technology and the gusset, but it would be so much more convenient if I could wash them and just immediately throw them in the dryer, just to like expedite the process of air drying. Because air drying, you know, depending on, you know, the humidity situation in your home, can take a long time. If you clip your panties to a hanger and clip them in front of your fan, they're going to dry so much faster than just making them like dry inside your house on, like, you know, a portable line or something like that, or thrown over a chair. They dry so much faster on a hanger in front of a fan. So if you do have a fan, that's what I do. I mean, honestly, first world problems, but I did want to make that clear. This video has been long enough, so I'm going to shut up now, but I do hope that this video was helpful, that it helped you to make a decision whether or not you want to even try period panties. Again, you can use the coupon code SheRea15. That code is only good until the end of July 2022. If I do have an updated code or anything like that, that will be updated in the description box because this video will already be live on YouTube, but I will help you save as much as you can. If you have any further questions about period panties, something that I somehow missed in this long video, you can definitely drop them down below in the comment section. I would really appreciate your feedback. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, definitely tell me why. And that's the end of it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Bye, y'all.